My phone is now forcing me to be in, which is slightly frustrating, but there you go. Them's the breaks. Anyway, here's a good morning pony for you all. You're looking a bit sad for yourself there, boy. Oh, dodge that. Oh, but nevertheless, we are here once again on a fantastic morning to have a nice walk. It's a bit cold. I think it's something about 10 degrees, but expected to go up into about the late 20s at some point today. So, you know, it's going to be quite a nice Saturday with all things looking at it, the way it's shaping out. So that is good, you know. That is very good indeed. So, other than that, I think it's going to be quite a nice weekend at the end of the day. Hang on, going to get down here. Always hate that. But good morning. Everyone else joining us. Like I say, had a bit of a... Again, I don't know why my phone is doing this. I think there must be something internally that has gone wrong in my phone. Because the rotation in it is not detecting. So I can have it in landscape. And if I want to go live, all of a sudden it'll say, no, wrong rotation. And I'm like, no, I'm in the right rotation. What are you doing? Oh. But anyway, that's frustrating. That is highly frustrating indeed. So we're stuck in this for now. So, as always, morning to everyone joining us. Welcome to a fantastic good morning walk. As always, fantastic scenery. So, we will get on into this. Yeah, prefer landscape, I know. But unfortunately, I think it's going to basically mean me getting a new phone. So, if you want to contribute to that, you can do down below. But anyway, enough about my technical frustrations. So let's start off, as we normally do, with our little Donald Trump catch-up, because, as we all know, old DT... Yeah, slow news week, anything happen? Yeah, old DT. Oh, thank you very much, David Falconer. Thank you very much for that super chat. Still a big fan of the ball hat, man. That rhymes. Thank you very much for your super chat there. Thank you again for all your support that you guys, yeah. When I can put my teeth in, I can speak proper. Yeah, thank you very much for support for all that. Yeah. Oh. So old DT has had a bit of an odd week. Because you remember last week we had the whole he's dead rumours. Oh, Dave W, thank you very much towards a new phone. Thank you very much indeed. Yeah. Yeah, technical difficulties, Mike, on that one. But yes, good morning to everyone joining us. The only good thing, actually, about being in this view is we are at least a bit more findable when it comes to people going on YouTube Shorts and scrolling through YouTube Shorts. So people may land at us. So we're a bit more discoverable in that area. But anyway, back to DT. So obviously everyone in news had heard about that he was dead. And there were all these rumours circulating that they were going to absolutely, weekend at Bernie's this. That they were going to sort of try and pretend he was alive while puppeteering that he was okay. And then we got this big press conference, this big news announcement that something big, Trump was going to announce something big. And no. All he did was he announced he was moving the Space Force Command Center from one side of the country to another. He was moving it from Colorado to what was it, Alabama? That was it. And that was it. But it was proof, as all the MAGA people claimed, but it was proof, the MAGA people claimed, that Donald Trump is finally alive. You've been finally alive all this time for a really weird press conference, and it's not like he came across good either at that particular press conference. Didn't even take any questions. But one of the things that started circulating, I don't know if people saw that, people started saying that Trump was wearing something like under his shirt. So there's now this whole thing that's been circulating that he is wearing, what's it called now, a device. It's a LVU device or something like that. And essentially it is what you wear if you are waiting for a heart transplant. You don't have a pulse because you've now got this device that you are wearing that is battery powered, that essentially keeps your heart pumping. So Trump miraculously once again disappears for a couple of days, then at least we know maybe he's having a heart transplant, which for someone at that age can be a very, very risky procedure indeed. So that was one thing. And then the recent thing we've now heard is, again, with his passion now for renaming things, he's decided to rename the Department of Defense to Department of War because it gives it a sense of victory. And again, I find that really weird that you've decided to name it like that. Genuinely, really weird that they've decided to name it like that. I don't understand, like, why on earth. Thinking about that. Oh. Little pony. Yeah. So yeah, it's Trump being Trump, essentially. Someone, Francis says you give Trump 18 months. We'll see. But if he is having, heart problems, like that, those are like then tend to be pretty serious. But the question is just what? And of course they're going to hide it, But the big question really becomes, how long can they hide it? And what exactly can they hide? Because if I were the Democrats right now, I'd be firing back everything they did under Biden. Just fire back at them. Just like demand that there is an independent medical expert assesses Trump. You can have the normal medical expert in the room as well. Just have him assessed by someone else. That's what they should start doing. Just play the exact same stuff back at them. But that's the Democrats, I suppose. But I think he's going to become a lame duck president, honestly. I think the midterms are not looking good. If you saw the job news, joblessness is now outstripping available positions. And this is all because of the tariff nonsense that Trump has been doing. So that's now hitting the economy hard. Which was inevitable, really, in the long run for all these things. Always was. Nope. And then, of course, if America does enter a recession, well, that will affect everyone. Oh, as they say, good times ahead, I suppose. Oh. Anyway, in the meantime, we've, of course, had a bit of a reshuffle. Because of, well, let's face it, the misogynism that's been put out against Angela Rayner. Because as far as I think I've looked at this, and I can tell, Angela Rayner underpaid stamp duty, but she took on 3 different people's advice for doing this. Underpaid. Now it's come out she's done that. Paid like the proper amount now. And yet, furore over this. And remember, previously, under the last government, when this happened to people like Boris Johnson, to Jacob Rees-Mogg, any of the Tories on this, we were told and turned around, oh no, this isn't a matter for the public. This is like personal finances. Do you think Rayner will face any legal procedure? No. Because I've looked at it all, and I can't see where she's gone wrong. in this. I don't think she's going to face any legal proceedings at all. I think the problem became it was becoming this story, and I think the official thing was, well, we got rid of it because we got rid of her because it was becoming too big a story. I would have turned around and just said to these newspapers, why weren't you putting this type of questioning on people like Boris Johnson and Jacob Rees-Mogg on this? Yeah, again, Nick, I believe, media reform. There is, it's implement Leveson 2. That's all they have to do. Implement Leveson 2. Take on those things. But it will mean, of course, taking on the press. And I don't understand why they don't. At a time when essentially the press doesn't like them. But I think there is a problem that they see themselves as sort of they need to be liked. And I'm like, because I think that seems to be the root of all their problems. They sort of want to be liked. And they keep on doing stuff where they know they're going to get a bad reaction from it. And it's just so weird that they keep on doing like all this stuff, putting, foot in the wrong direction. No, just, the old World War II adage, keep calm and carry on. And now we've gone and got rid of Angela Rayner, and we've had now a complete reshuffle. So this is where I can't remember people's names now. Lammy's gone from Foreign Secretary to the Deputy, although to be honest I wish they'd keep him as Foreign Secretary. I think Lammy's been doing a very good job, honestly, as Foreign Secretary. You've had someone move in now, new to the Home Office. Can't remember her name. I can see her face, can't remember her name. And then who was at the Home Office has now moved to the Foreign Office. Which, okay. I think those were like really all the big positions. And then this is me just not being able to remember people's names. Oh, me for not being able to remember people's names. The thing is, I can see the faces. I can see, like, I can't remember the names. They'll come to me like a couple of minutes, and I'm like, But anyway, the pitfalls of having dyslexia. So yeah, we've had this reshuffle now. And we'll see what happens, I suppose. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, I suppose, in terms of this reshuffle. Ed Miliband stayed where he is, which I think is good, because again, somewhere else who's doing, I think, a really good job of where he was. That's it. That's it. Yvette Cooper, thank you very much, Richard. Thank you very much, Richard. Yeah, I she's an odd choice, Cooper, to move to the Foreign Office. A very odd choice, because I don't understand why. I don't understand why you would move Lammy, because again, there's someone who's doing a really good job in the Foreign Office. So that's the weird one that definitely should be mentioned. Oh yes, there was the. We might have to find a new way from here. We even might have to double back, unfortunately. Such is. Oh no, I still haven't. Have they? No, it's still there. So yeah, it's been an odd week, and especially an odd first week back after the silly season. And bear in mind, we've got a couple of council live streams, so we might be doing a live stream maybe tonight on what went down in Warrington on there. So we'll see. Again, if I get time, we'll see. But I definitely want to watch that council meeting. And, you know, the reform councils are, of course, back in full swing. An update on the Derbyshire issue, by the way. They've actually been called out on shutting those adult education centres. It was not done legally, as they said. So at least reform were caught out before they could close those down. Nick, dealing with the USA is a tremendously very difficult job. Lammy has done very well. It's a madness to move him. Yeah, again, I don't understand why they've moved him, because he was doing a very, very good job. So it does not make any sense really to move him. It doesn't make any sense to move him from that position. It is odd, especially when he was doing a really good job in the Foreign Office on that position. Oh, there we go. So yeah, it's odd to move him. It really is. Oop. Hang on. There we go. But yeah, it's odd. I don't understand why they've moved him. But he's Deputy Prime Minister now. So there you go. But when it comes to, of course, the madness of reform, you've now got, obviously, Nigel and Farage saying that we are now like North Korea. because they had a meeting on freedom of speech in the United Kingdom. And Farage was calling, saying, well, look, you should put sanctions on us to force us to change our laws. Why? What? What? That's incredibly strange for him to do that. Although there were a lot of Democrats who really did lay into Farage. And then, of course, he didn't even stay the full meeting. He left. To a point where they actually called him out, saying, oh yeah, by the way, he's outside right now, live, doing his show from America. Because I don't know if people saw it, you'll notice he was wearing a GB News pin. And part of the reason why he was over there as well was that GB News are now launching in America under the Trump branding. So that in itself becomes really weird that you've now got GB News launching in America. Bear in mind, they are failing. They are a failing news organisation. They are losing money hand over fist. The only reason they've sort of managed to survive is because they've got a lot of big money donors that are willing to fund their nonsense. For how long, of course, that remains to be seen. But bear in mind, they have not been profitable at all. Hence why they sacked Darren Grimes, of course. So it does continue. So it does continue this bizarre thing for them, that's for sure. But then you've also got the Reform Conference that happened, and Angela Jenkins coming out and singing, saying, well, that like her council is going to be like the model for how Reform UK will govern. And here's the thing, if you've been following what's been going on in that council, nothing's been happening. So it's been an odd time. Hang on. Let's see. No, we can't get it to function. Hang on. There we go. So yeah, odd times indeed for Reform on that front. It's going to be a interesting. The conference is comedy gold. Well, honestly, I I sort of wished we'd watched it live. It would have been an interesting watch live. It would have been very, very interesting to watch that live. I'm not gonna lie. It would very, very much so be an interesting watch on that. So it is an interesting watch on that one. But like I say, the councils are now back in session. Oh my word, the Nottingham one. Oh, the Nottingham one. Oh, again, there's just so much to watch. You know, we've got to watch the stuff going on in Warwickshire, because they've pulled a blinder recently in their first council meeting. Councillor Conditore sent me a message saying for the link to the council, saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, not only are they continuing with the Tory cuts, but they're going to cut an extra 20 million, and they haven't said where it's going to come from." So, you know, that's one to watch at some point as well. We've got to try and maybe watch the shouting match that Nottinghamshire became. There's the scrutiny committees as well, potentially coming up. It's going to be very, very interesting on many fronts. I think very, very soon. And of course, as well, remember, local government reorganisation is happening soon. So that's going to be a very, very heavy trending topic very soon indeed on that one. So, Brad, good morning to you, and good morning to everyone else joining us as well. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Do remember to hit the like and share button. Hang on, there we go. Let me just get through. There we go. All right, Brad. As an American now from Florida, I absolutely loathe Trump, and it is a very depressing situation now to be in. I've lost a lot of hope in this country, and I worry about the future. Again, not surprising, Brad. I mean, especially, you know, coming from a red state like that as well. All I can say is, find some local groups, join them, and just start pushing back against the Republicans locally. You know, start unseating them, not just at the big seats, but the smaller seats as well. Because I know in America, you guys have a lot more local elections stuff, and you vote on a lot of more stuff. So use a lot of this stuff to push them out. That'll be the best option for you. But yeah, if you use that and push them out locally, you'll get rid of them. You'll get rid of them very, very quickly. Ben, if reform did get into government, it would quickly become evident why they should never have a second term. Yes, it would. I don't even think they would last a term, if I'm honest. I don't think they would last a term at all. But I don't think they would at all. I don't think they would at all on many of these fronts. It's honestly, they wouldn't last at all. But you're seeing what would happen to, though, a reform government. If you just look at what's going on at these councils, it's pure chaos and incompetence every single day. And not only that, they'd have the levers of the economy as well to start pulling on. And that's where it gets really worrying for us, because I think, as a lot of people have pointed out, some of the stuff that Farage would do would be like, you know, Liz Truss's mini budget, but times 10. It would not be good. It would not be good at all. It will all go down very much so in a flame of glory. And, you know, I've said before, I'm very worried for my own, you know, council. So I'm very, very much going to get out active and out there as much as I can, because we've got like a full council election. All 63 seats, our local council, are going to be up for election. So it is going to be an absolute free-for-all here when it comes to the elections around here. And the main objective is just to stop as many reform candidates as we can. And a big part of that is going to be telling people, look, if you elect these people to the council, they're going to be absolutely useless. The big problem then is that a lot of people will then turn around and say, but yeah, Labour's useless as a council anyway. And they're not. That's the thing. They're not. You know, this town has recently, under the past couple of years, really transformed. Really transformed. And that has been because of the Labour councillors. If Reform get in, you know, it is going to be bad. It could be very bad. Rich, a Reform government will be absolutely reshuffling every week, with levers realising that there's some actually work involved. Well, possibly. You know, you know, I've always said the worst thing to ever happen to Farage would be if he became Prime Minister, because then he's actually got to do something. He can't complain about the government, because then he is the government, you know? He is the government. What's he, you know? What's that going to happen about all of that, you know? It's very worrying, you know? And we all look at the polls and we all see that, you know, Reform support. But one thing that does gladden me is you look at the polls versus performance. And here's the thing. Reform does not perform like they poll. Which I find very, very interesting on many of those occasions. So that is at least heartening to take a look at. And remember that as much as they crow about all their fantastic polling performance, they don't perform at that level. You know, always remember, in the run-up to the 2024 general election, we saw consistently Labour and Lib Dem victories. And again, that was based on the polling. But now we are seeing polling that shows Reform out massively in head. So we should be seeing, according to that polling, like victory after victory after victory for Reform. But that's not what we are seeing. We are seeing Labour victories, we are seeing Lib Dem victories, we're even seeing Conservative victories. There has been a couple, of Reform wins. But then, if they are so popular, if they are polling at that rate, why then aren't we seeing that then reflected in by-election results? I think there's more or less going on than meets the eye, yeah? Hang on, let me get across this. There we go. Just got across. One of these days I will fall in. Not that's a promise, but one of these days. Anyway. Oh, hang on. Shanks. You did see this in line with the last Reform won loads of seats. Look at voter swing, not the results. But it's not just voter swing. It's why did they perform so well at the May local elections? Bear in mind, running on like national issues, and then you look at what's happened after the local elections. Why have they then lost all these by-elections? And in some cases, not even performing that well. Like, not even performing that well. I think there's more going on than I think there's at least being said there. I don't think that Reform are performing at actual polls as well as they are polling. And it is, voter turnout is low. They have lost lots of by-elections though. They have. They've lost more than they've won. Far more lost than they've won. So they are not performing as well as they are polling. So that tells you a lot about maybe their support isn't as concrete as they claim, which again is good. It's a matter of seizing on that, taking it hold. But like I say, I am next May going to be out, and making sure that that's not the case, especially in my area. Because I do not want a Reform council, at least not one that's in full control, because Jesus Christ. Talk about reversals of fortune on that front. Yeah, 15% turnout by-election results. Yeah, not surprising. Local election, by-elections, lowest turnout there ever has been. And it is a lot to do with turnout. I've said this before as well. Reform have a very, very good machine at getting people to go and turn out. That's why I did a video on the app that they've just done, Reform Go. Because now they can send you push notifications. Oh yeah, by the way, go vote in this by-election. Go vote in this by-election. Here's a personal message from Lee Anderson, from Nigel Farage, from Richard Tice. Go out and vote. And it is because of local election apathy. There is a lot of apathy when it comes to local turnout. A lot of turnout for local elections. Very, very bad indeed when it comes to this. So what, he kind of wants to abolish the boundary commission. Yeah, because we can't have any more boundary changes. Can't have any more boundary changes, and, that means that they can, do it themselves. Of course he does. Typical. Some stats, again, according to Shanksdale, at least 30 seats positive. Again, I am not believing in the polls, because if you look at their performance, it doesn't match up. Especially when it looks at by-elections and stuff. It's very, very odd that they are not running on that. There's something more going on there. I think that maybe last time, especially for the last local election, they were running, because I've heard this from people in Doncaster, that they were running on, oh yeah, if you vote for us, they'll overturn the winter fuel allowance being cut. So, once again, running on national issues where it's more local that should really matter on that one. Imagine Darren Grimes in the cabinet, Jesus Christ. I mean, technically he is already on a cabinet. He is not only deputy leader, he's in charge of finance and comms at Durham County Council. So, good one on that one. How that's gonna go, that's for sure. But we'll see. I am not convinced that there is a very big difference between them polling and their actual performance. I think there is a very, very big difference when they're looking at that from what I've seen. Charles, good morning. Good morning. Airhead Doris, yes, that was something else we haven't mentioned about. Nadine Dorries has now left the Conservatives to join Reform. And there was probably much rejoicing from Tory HQ. That'll be interesting seeing what she decides to do next, whether she decides to insert herself somewhere into the story, probably to try and get the average, I suppose, Nadine Dorries in somewhere. That'll be very interesting to see what happens on that front. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. It's been an absolutely cracking good morning walk. The weather has been really nice actually this morning. It's a little bit cloudy, but again, the temperature is expected to be quite warm today. So, as always, thank you very much everyone for joining me today on today's Good Morning Walk. As always, go out, enjoy your weekend. As always, if you can't be safe, at least be sensible. And of course, we'll see you all next time for another Good Morning Walk. Loop. Loop.